Hello, all my merry makers. Merry Christmas Eve. Today we're going to be talking about something that a couple of you might have struggled with, which is pricing your makes. I know a couple of us have either struggled with this in the past, but I came across a post on Instagram. This is not my formula, that I think we're all going to appreciate how it works. But before we get into that, today is the last day of the Rainbow Advent. What's inside? Oh, another pastel. Look at that. So, I see some peaches again, which is interesting to me. But I also see some blues and some purples. Actually reminds me of the inside of a clam or the outside of a pearl, to be honest. And if I could get it centered in the camera, that would be great. So, yeah, let me see the other peaches. Peaches. Nope, nope. Don't do that. Don't get copyrighted. So, you can see, compared to the other peaches, it is definitely a lot lighter. In fact, that almost looks like a fade, doesn't it? Definitely going to have some interesting fun times making this into a pattern that I think looks good. Alright, now on to today's video. Alright, so today's information comes from my Instagram, Size Inclusive Collective. If I can, I'm going to try to link their Instagram in the description below. Thank you, darling. You can see that they've got lots of followers. They don't need my help. But just in case you've never heard of them, there you go. So what they say about pricing an object is the price of an object is equal to the price of the yarn. So, whoops. We're going to say yarn price plus, if you have to buy the pattern, the pattern price plus number of yards times 0.20. So what does that look like? Well, as many of you know, I just finished a sweater for my daughter in the size 6T, and the pattern that I used was the flax pattern from Tin Can Knits, and I'm planning on making another one. The second one that I'm planning on making with this mandala, which I got on clearance for $5, but I bought 2 of them. So right off the bat, $12, because you have to include tax, plus the price of the pattern. Now, thankfully, flax is a free pattern, so that's 0. Number of yards, I believe, was 800 times 0.20. Now, so we've got 12 plus 160, 0, 0. Don't forget your decimal. So the actual price that I should be charging for if I were to sell this new sweater, is $172. Now, this 0.20, she said, is for easy patterns, which the Flax by Tin Can Knits is a very easy pattern. She said for more difficult patterns, she would say number of yards times either 0.3 or 0.4. So, the more and that allows for the more difficult the pattern, it's going to take more time. So, you should charge more. And I really like this because it is a very concrete thing. It's not something that depends on how you're feeling that day or whatever. The second thing I want to talk about when you're selling your stuff is selling guidelines. So when you sell something online, I would say that you require anywhere from half the total amount to 3/4 the total amount before you even start. Also, they must agree that all purchases are final. Also, you have to, my husband is trying to remind me, allow for sales tax, which varies by state, and if you're shipping it, cost of shipping.
And if you're shipping overseas, there's a VAT tax.
Uh-oh, I hear a small child. So especially if you're making a wearable piece, and especially if they don't let you take your measurements, you must very much emphasize all sales are final. I am not responsible for after it's shipping. It's no longer my responsibility. It is yours. What else? And if you don't let me take measurements, I cannot guarantee that a wearable will fit. I really like this method of figuring out how much to charge for a project because it accounts for not only inflation, because you can always look up how much yarn costs, but it also accounts for your time without you having to guess how many hours something is going to take you. Now, so the only caveat is you need to know how many yards a project is going to take you. So either have a either have a pattern, because most patterns are going to tell you exactly how many yards you're going to need. Or there's also, I think, on Lion Brand, a guide on how many yards you may need in each, for each project. Like, a bulky hat is gonna take around 80 yards. So, depending on the pattern though. So it really would behoove you to have a pattern picked out between you and your customer. I hope this helps anybody who is looking to sell their products. I know a lot of us are not looking for that right now, especially with all the things going with Etsy. But just in case anybody ever asks you, you can have an idea of what to charge and never accept less than $100 for a sweater. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Feel free to comment down below. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I will definitely be including that in the description box, along with the link to the Instagram account that I referenced. So, merry making to all, and to all a good make. Join me on Wednesday for what you're working on Wednesday. Have a good day.